Disability, you will agree with me, is as old as man itself. Yes, a lot of us did not notice it because persons with disability were given very funny names, called abiku, some were called snakes, depending on cultural belief, traditional backgrounds, and all that. And so, this led to so much discrimination, segregation amongst, community. Parents were ashamed to let out children with disability, and even children with disability lost their self-confidence and refused to mingle with their peers. But thank God for a lot of advocacy, creation, awareness, and all that. People are now coming to terms with the word disability, and they now know that disability is not the end of the road for a person. Today on Against All Odds, we'll be bringing right to your doorstep Mr. David Anyaele. Anyaele. He is someone who lost his both hands, during an accident. His story is one that, will bring hope to someone who is wondering, can I still move on after the fall? Yes, you can. My guest, when he lets you into his world, I tell you something, you will have courage again. You will believe in yourself again. You will know that, yes, you can conquer the world with your dreams and desire. It's good to have you on Against All Odds. We will be back very shortly. Don't go away. My name, Toshima Pius Ikerafi. Don't go away.
This is Against All Odds.
If you're just joining us, the program is still Against All Odds on the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA. And today with me, I have the Executive Director, Center for Citizens with Disability, Mr. David Obinna Anyaele. He is a man who has had his fair challenges in life. A man who actually went through the pains, of course, discouragement, laughter. He's had his days of laughter. He has viewed his past, his present, and of course has made his future admirable. He is someone who you would like to meet. He had his 2 hands amputated. What led to this? How was he able to survive it? All this we're bringing to you through my guest. David Anyaele is a product of pure grace. He attended the community secondary and primary school Igbere in his hometown in Abia State. He grew up in Aba. He is from Bende in Abia State. David has advanced diploma in public relations and BSc in management science from the University of Education, Winneba in Ghana. He has a master's degree in public relations from Bangkok University. David Obinna Anyaele is a disability activist, a social worker, public relations and disability development consultant, and a member of the Nigerian Institute for Public Relations. While visiting Freetown, Sierra Leone in 1999, he was attacked, captured, and set on fire by the Revolutionary United Front (RUF) rebels of Sierra Leone after his 2 limbs were forcefully chopped off because of his identity as a Nigerian.
Fire! It's our people, don't fire yet! Where?
I was in Freetown, Sierra Leone for a business trip. During the my stay, the RUF rebels invaded Freetown. Nigerian contingent of ECOMOG was deployed to flush them out. What they call invasion, Freetown invasion. In the course of mopping out and pushing out the rebels from Freetown, the rebels were going house to house looking for Nigerians, capturing them and killing and protecting their hands. So on the 19th of January, the rebels captured me, not only me, other Nigerians. In the course of trying to negotiate, they said that Nigerian government was attacking them in the name of ECOMOG, that Freetown does not belong to Nigeria, it belongs to Sierra Leone. Therefore, they want ECOMOG to leave their land. And to them, the only way to pass their message is for them to, cut our hands. So my friends who were there, other Nigerians, they started picking us one after the other, cutting our hands. And Emmanuel Benedict Ibuna was the first person to amputate his two hands. He died in the process, followed by his elder brother, Emma Ibuna. So I was there negotiating, asking them how much they want so that we can be able to pay them and allow people to go. At a stage when I thought it had succeeded, the rebels said, no, it's not about money, it's about their position. So they say my hand must be chopped off. These are young people between the age of 12 and 14. So they asked me to put my hands on the stool. While I tried to resist, they cocked the rifle to open fire on me. So I placed my left hand, so they caught it. While I was screaming and asking God to help me, they said they want to cut my right hand. I asked them how much they want. Any amount they want, I'm going to pay. They say no, that they must cut it. And if I resist, they will kill me. So in the course of doing that, the small boy kicked me to open fire on me. So I said, okay, you can cut the right hand. So that was how my right hand was cut off. So while that was going on, I was screaming, calling on God to help me. They said, why must I call God? I should go and tell Nigerian government to stop attacking them in the name of ECOMOG, that Freetown does not belong to Nigeria, it belongs to Sierra Leoneans. It was there that I started, leaving the place where this thing happened, which is called Kisi Bypass, Shell Bus Stop, Kisi Bypass, in Freetown. That was how I walked from there up to where they call Ferry Junction, from Ferry Junction to Upgon, from Upgon to Kisi Road. I saw UN vehicle on the way. I beckoned on them. They picked me. They asked me, who am I? I explained. They say, if I see soldiers, will I identify myself? I said, yes, I can identify myself. They said, okay, if it is so, that they will carry me. By that time, my body is full of burnt. My skins were burnt, so
You were bleeding.
I was bleeding, and that was how I was taken to Connaught Hospital in Freetown, Sierra Leone, where I was given first aid, and from there treatment commenced. The Nigerian contingent of ECOMOG heard about what happened to me. They sent their soldiers to come and evacuate me from the Connaught Hospital and moved me to military hospital in Freetown, Sierra Leone. They moved me to ECOMOG Hospital in Freetown, Sierra Leone. From there, I was evacuated to military hospital, Lagos, where I was treated. On the 3rd of February, 1999, I was there in military hospital, Yaba, up to August 30th, 1999, when I was discharged. That was how I lost my limbs.
This is Against All Odds.
For me, while the story was going on, I was like, but he had an option of them taking his life. Why didn't he just say, okay, take my life instead of taking my two hands? It's a question that was running through my mind, and I said I should ask you, why did you make the choice of them chopping your two hands and not taking your life?
I couldn't demand for death. Death was not the option. I didn't go to Freetown Sierra Leone to die. I went to Freetown for business reasons. So choosing to die in Freetown in a strange land is not an option for me. I didn't know that I would survive. While I was going to government health area, I was moving to that direction so that if I die on the road, somebody who knows me can easily tell my people that they saw my body, this is what happened. So unlike dying in the crowd, nobody will know what happened to you. So that was what happened. All the strength, all the energy, all the motivation. I can't explain where it came from, but I thank God I survived.
You're a very courageous person. You were born with so much, determination in you. And because you were determined, you believed that this struggle, you will not just end it like a coward. And so even your spirit was alive. So your body did not have any right to fail you. You moved with the blood and fire and all that. Tell us, what was the recuperating period like? Period of trying to survive through the wounds and all that. What was it like?
It was a process-driven thing. I was placed in a military hospital under the care of Brigadier General Jonathan Eremu. While I was evacuated from Sierra Leone, it was Colonel Azodo that took care of me. When we got to Nigeria, General Jonathan Eremu took over. So at the military hospital, I was under the care of the best of military personnel you can think or imagine across Nigeria. So while I was there, the process that led to my healing, stabilization was characterized with care and love. So that gave me the kind of energy that I required to stabilize myself. But in terms of assessing rehabilitation and reintegration, I was asked to go to my state, Abia State, to get rehabilitation. It was there that I met the worst of challenges that is worse than what I saw in Freetown Sierra Leone. Yeah, because Nigerian transition period just took place. Chief Olusegun Obasanjo took over as the president. Chief Ojus Okalu took over as governor of Abia State. And the military sent signal to them to help me to get rehabilitation. Because I'm not a soldier, so they can't continue the support they were giving to me. I had to run to Lagos State, where the then governor, Chief Bola Tinubu, was able to write to me, to encourage me, ask them to set up a medical board for me so that they can evacuate me to Germany for further treatment. Though it didn't happen, but I'm happy that Chief Tinubu, demonstrated concern, demonstrated willingness, show sympathy on my situation. That alone restored my hope in government. But there's one thing I asked God to do for me. I asked God to help me to renew my mind. Renew my mind to forgive the people that hurt me, to forgive Sierra Leone people, to forgive RUF rebels, to give me the enablement for me to see a brighter future so that I can be able to bounce back life and be all I want to be. So because of that, I stayed in Lagos. So because I was also trying to renew my mind, and I know that it cannot take place without spiritual renewal. So my church did a wonderful job. I met wonderful people who did not treat me by reason of my disability or tribe or whatever, but they treated me, or class, they treated me because I'm a human being. So I was also listening to the Word of God, I was reading the Bible, and I discovered that it's not God's plan for me to lose my limbs. That God has a plan for me, plans to prosper me, not to harm me, but to grant me a future. He also made me to understand that He wishes above all that I may prosper and be in health, even as my soul prospereth. And He's also made me to understand that all that I've lost, that He will restore it. So when I know that all the cankerworm have eaten, whatever thing that I've lost in the course of life, that is going to restore it. My dignity, my name, my reputation, that is going to restore it. So all this helped me to, you know, to build my spirit. I was also privileged to stay in the midst of lovely people. I have people from the NTA who are also speaking for me, and the likes of late Sere Radere, Abikedabri, Ruth Benemisa Opia, Frank Olise, and the wonderful people I met in NTA. Though my limb loss also led me to lose my friends, to lose, some of the things I cherish most. But also the limb loss also helped me to make new friends, to meet people like So in the course of that, I am happy that I'm dealing with quality people, quality men or women who add value to my life.
This is Against All Odds.
Ah, now I'm sure you would like to share with us family. How did you come about? Was there family before the accident, or how did you get family?
When I returned back, after I was discharged from the hospital, the issue of having a helper was there. But the question is, how are you going to get a wife when you're not balanced? If you're not emotionally and psychological balanced and you are marrying, you may transfer all your pain and agony to the individual. And such person may run away. You understand?
Yes.
He may call you a difficult person. He may say you are very difficult to manage. So first of all, I asked God to decancer or to de-traumatize me, so that I'll be able to be, at least I'll be calm. Also to learn to live independently. It was my desire to live independently, not because I don't want to depend on anybody. Because the Bible I read says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not unto your own understanding, all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. I say, cause you see that trust in man. So when you wake up in the morning and say, oh, I have a wife, I will trust my wife will do this for me. Tomorrow she may say she's not feeling well. What will you do? Would that collapse you? So, but I thank God that God helped me to balance first. There's nothing anybody can do for me. Yes, nothing. So, but God is infinite mercy. To get the artificial hands, people helped me, contributed money. Artificial hand was purchased for me. It was 5 million in 2003. It was 5 million in 2003. So I started life again. By special grace of God, I was able to get married. Before I got married, I saw many women. I proposed to many women. Many women rejected me. Many women couldn't fathom marrying a man without hands. But God also, His mercy, provided a good companion for me. And so that's how I got married. God has blessed me with boys, with girls, so beautiful ones. So when I see them, I'm happy. I see it as a replacement of my hands, So I'm happily married. I have children. They are in school. They are doing well. Yeah, that's it.
Tell us your happiest day, a day that made your joy almost complete. I'm sure you'll have a day like that.
I have experienced different, happy days in my life. The day I was discharged from the hospital, was a happy day for me. The day I got my artificial hand was also another happy day for me. But the day I could say my happiest days are the days my wife gave back to her children. The day my son, Wachuku, was born. It was a Sunday evening like that. And I was like, Lord has given me a brand new hands. I was so excited, and the boy was so handsome, and I charged him to be strong and courageous, not to fear anything in life. Because one of the greatest constraints to man is fear. And when my wife also gave back to our second son, I was so excited, Kelechi. I said, God has increased me in a special way. And the day my wife gave birth to my daughter, I said, nobody will put me to shame.
Your joy was complete.
Yes, having a daughter, a beautiful one for that, intelligent. Oh, I'm so happy that God made it possible for me to have a daughter.
Today, Mr. Anyaele, he's a motivational speaker, Chief Executive Officer, Davida Consulting Limited. He is the Executive Director, Center for Citizens with Disabilities, CCD, as well as board member of different organizations. As a disability advocate, David has successfully coordinated many campaigns and advocacies in favor of persons with disabilities in Nigeria. He led the passage of the National Disability Act, which today has brought forth the National Commission for Persons with Disability. He is not giving up on this fight. He says this is the time to put in the same level of enthusiasm to ensure that the Commission carries out the mandate in which it was created for, to give independence to persons with disability.
As I speak to you, last year, the State Department of the United States gave me Gold Star Award in International Visitors Leadership Program. I'm the only one in Africa as #1 disability advocate across Africa. I'm the #1. That's what the American. It's in their website. It's in their Facebook. Go there, you see it. As an International Leadership Visitor Program alumni, during my program, I was able to visit 6 states in US. Studying healthcare systems and marginalized population. Here in Nigeria, I've also worked in different states. I've worked in more than 8 states in this country, empowering people with disabilities, supporting them, increasing them. We're still doing it till tomorrow. You see the thing. So when difficulties occur, it's not the time to blame yourself. It's not the time for you to confront yourself. It's not the time for you to say it's the village people or whatever. It's circumstances can happen. But the question is, can you come out of it? How do you come out of it? You can only come out of it when you change the way you think. When you change the way you think. The moment you change the way you think, things will work. And one of the ways for you to achieve that is by thinking about what you can do for other people, not what people can do for you.
In his appreciation speech while speaking to Against All Odds to Mr. President, he says they are most grateful that the President actually put the commission in the hands of Mr. James Lalu, because he is the man whom the cap fits. He says Mr. James Lalu is a man who knows his onions, who wears the shoes and knows where it pinches most. And so, without regret, he knows that Mr. James will definitely carry out the mandate, ensuring that persons with disabilities are carried along in every sector of the government.
We have our own James Lalu as the executive secretary and Dr. Hassan, as the chair. I believe that they mean well. My hope is that they work together, not to abuse our struggle. You understand?
Yeah.
Because any abuse against that office is abuse of our struggle. I will not take it from anybody.
This is Against All Odds.
Thank you for staying with us on Against All Odds. Are you still there, lying in a dark corner and wondering how your life will move on in this new state you have found yourself? I'm sure after listening to his story, you will jump up and make yourself happy. Happiness is a choice, a deliberate choice that only you can make and realize for yourself. Don't stay there in self-pity. Come out and become that which you dream to become. Thank you for staying with us. We hope to see you again next week, same time. My name remains Doshima Pius Ikeravi.
Audio Jungle.